watching it go, buying low, selling high. Riding the wave, I'm here to stay, living in the digital age. No banks, no fees, just decentralized. It's crypto paradise. Ooh. No banks, no fees.
Alrighty, good morning from Paradise Servers. Happy Halloween, everybody. I wanted to wear my costume. I put it on. It looked a little wonky. It was a bit hot. I said, you know what, forget about that. But I will be trick-or-treating later with the kids. I got my beers ready to go because that's, you know, what adults do, right, I think? Or maybe I'm just an alcoholic. I don't know. I digress. The market is looking green. Finally. We need a little bit of green in our lives, guys. I'm feeling a little pep in my step. Let's see if this post-FOMC meeting, the pump, the dump, the sell-off, the buy the rumor, sell the news, if this ends up like all other FOMC meetings vis-a-vis Bitcoin, and does that mean that we are back at all-time highs by December 9th, which is the next time the Fed meets? It's going to be very interesting to see. I think it's going to be data-dependent. It's going to be macro-dependent. But the trend is our friend. The data is behind us, and I think we are going to be much higher within in the next 2 weeks is my prediction. So we'll talk about the markets. We'll look at the charts. Reminder to all of those watching the stream today and all other days, we're giving away $1,000 a month to the 5 most engaged community members who are joining the streams, commenting, engaging. If you can't join live, that's fine too. Comment, be active. We're giving away money every single month. We want to give back to you guys. So happy to be here, feeling good about the green. Happy to have Nick back. Hope your day off yesterday was good. And let's get into it.
Yeah, I don't know why you're feeling so good. I guess any green is green, but we were still down here at 109,500. After the FOMC meeting, we dumped as low as 106,000. So I guess this is a little bit of relief here. We did see data 2 live shows ago that said after FOMC meetings, Bitcoin goes to new all-time highs by the time of the next meeting. The next meeting is December 9th. So does Bitcoin keep the trend and go to a new all-time high before December 9th? I mean, the 4-year halving cycle, the macros, and everything else should tell you that that should be the case, unless we're, in fact, Bitcoin is dead, crypto cycle is over, and crypto is not going to get any bid from QT ending on December 1st, from QE starting in January, and from future interest rate cuts. That wouldn't make a lot of sense. But I guess anything is possible in the world of investing. But we'll see how Bitcoin and Ethereum will act here in the next few days. Bitcoin is up 1% today. Ethereum is up 0.76%, lagging here, still at 38.40, back into the triangle after a dump of as low as 3,685. Wow, I didn't realize it got that low. And, you know, today NASDAQ is liking the news of Trump shaking hands with the president of China. They came to a terms and agreement of a trade deal and also reducing some tariffs, and traditional markets is liking it. I'm surprised Bitcoin and Ethereum haven't reacted as favorably, as that was kind of the thing. People wanted to see interest rate cuts and China deal. Now you have both, and Bitcoin's actually down about $5,000 per Bitcoin. What do you think's going on here? Do you think it's just kind of a shakeout of leverage and derivative traders, and we're going to stick with the trend of new highs by December 9th?
I think it's a combination of factors. Yeah, I'm sure there's, you know, Binance selling. I mean, you go on X and you can see, I mean, transfers from Binance to the Wintermute hot wallet, and they're selling. So, you know, there is that happening. I really think it's a bigger story, though. And I think the reason we've been in this 3-month consolidation, you know, we've been ranging. We're still within the range, guys. We're still within that range of basically, what, 100 or 105,000 all the way to 125K. We've been ranging for, what, 3 months? Maybe more now? Nick can take a look at the chart. But why is this happening? Why can't we break out? Well, we keep telling you, there are early Bitcoin whales. We didn't know they existed. I don't think anyone really knew how many there were and how many coins these people held, but my goodness, they are selling. It's almost miraculous that we've held these levels, frankly. But this is the story we've been telling. I call it the great rotation or great replacement, right? We are rotating out the early Bitcoin believers who are sitting on billions of dollars in profits. Good for them. And now we're moving into the next cohort, which is Wall Street, more establishment types. And if you wait 10 more years, if you're a Bitcoin buyer now, you yourself will be a whale. And you'll be dumping on the minnows of the future. So circle of life, baby. We're good. But I think that's really the big story here and why we haven't broken out. But I'm not even worried, man. We're still just ranging. Why is everyone panicking?
We're still kind of in the same range, so nothing much going on there. But I'm just scrolling on the trading view. There's like 100 assets I watch, and there really isn't too much to talk about. News-wise, I don't know if you have news stories you want to pull up, but BNB is still floating just above $1,000. Bitcoin up 1.3%. Ethereum up 1%. Coinbase, I guess we can talk about them. They took a big hit when the FOMC sell-off happened, but they caught themselves back into the range as they had big earnings, as we talked about they would. They actually reported 1.5 earnings per share. Estimate was going to be 1.13, so they beat their earnings by 32%, and they beat their revenue by 3.77%. The revenue number isn't all that great, but it is still a beat. The reason for that being, retail is simply not here. Their revenue right now is coming primarily from institutional players, and we know institutional players don't pay big fees for AUM, custody, and stuff like that. The retail is who pays the fees when you're trading all the random altcoins on their exchange. But a beat nonetheless, sending the stock price higher off of the FOMC lows of $314 and $330 back to $347. We haven't jumped back into a trade here. We sold out for profits at $369 or $370. Having patience, but this does look very constructive. If Bitcoin and ETH catches themselves and catches some green candles, we're not going to be able to get back into Coinbase lower than we sold it. This thing will be a consolidation and attack these highs of $440. So take that for what you will. This yellow moving average, 200 MA on the 4 hours, served as great support, and they just had great earnings beats. But obviously, it's going to kind of follow what happens with Bitcoin and ETH. If Bitcoin and ETH dump and go to new minor, new lows, it's going to head down here to the red line towards 300 per share, and that's when we would probably buy it back. But, other than that, I mean, what do you think about Coinbase? Did you hear about the earnings? What do you think?
Yeah, of course. No, earnings season's in full force, full effect. Most of the big tech companies beat earnings. Apple, Google, I think Microsoft also did, but some are actually down even despite that, oddly enough. Wonky things happening with a few of the Mag 7s. But it's a reminder that it pays to be diversified, guys. It really does. And I actually don't own Coinbase. And I'll tell you why I don't own Coinbase. I already own a lot of crypto. And it's more, in my view, kind of a proxy for crypto to a large degree. So I like to be diversified, have something that's outside of crypto, right? I own all those big tech names. I just own the indexes, you know what I mean? The ETFs that track all the big guys. You own those. Those are up big. So I'm like, all right, yeah, my Bitcoin's down. My Ethereum is down. My altcoins are in the gutter. But, big tech is saving, the rest of my portfolio. Not that I look at my stock holdings that often. But this is what, this is why if you care about you and you get down in the dumps, you're, oh, no, my portfolio's down. I'm sad now. This is why you want to be diversified. So, it's good to have Coinbase if you're trading and following along with Nick and his trading group. I personally don't own any. I own the rest of the big tech companies. They're going to continue to do well. And I think what's happening right now is because you talked about QT and QE. So it's a very interesting thing, right? Powell did signal the end of QT. We know this. He said they're stopping selling their mortgage-backed securities and their treasuries and whatever other assets that they hold. They're going to stop selling them on December 1st. Okay, that's good. Yay! Ending QT, market pumps. Yeah. No, not so fast, guys. If you look historically to last cycle in particular, right, 2019, the risk assets, the true risk assets, not talking about the Mag 7 stuff, not talking about the stock market. That's the risk asset, but not really. The crypto and the Bitcoin. That doesn't start going until they start QE. They start buying back this stuff. And so, yeah, that's the question, right? That to me is like, when is that going to happen? What's going to be the catalyst for that? Normally it's going to be the further deterioration of the labor market. Fed's going to have to say, okay, we got to step in and bolster the bank holdings and bolster the economy and bolster this, that, the other. And so we're kind of waiting on that. And so if you're wondering, like, why is the Mag 7 pumping? Why are my stocks up? Or why is the stock market up, but Bitcoin's not? That might be the story there, folks. They haven't quite started QE yet, and so the people are not full-on risk assets yet.
Yeah, and talking about risk assets, I saw this in the news. It was pretty hilarious. FTX's Twitter account posted something kind of blaming where the money went on the bankruptcy court, saying, well, we could have paid everybody back like kind if the lawyers didn't charge us so much. Still deflecting the reason that you have to get lawyers anyways is the crimes and stupidity you committed. But on that tweet, the FTX token is up 13%. That is pretty hilarious. It's funny to see these things kind of pump. Obviously, it's lower liquidity, lower price now, but a 13% rally off of Sam Bankman-Fried, saying that it's the lawyer's fault. Pretty hilarious, the crypto market. And, if you happen to buy that for some reason and you got a 14% punt today, nice, pat yourself on the back. When is the insiders going to know when Sam Bankman-Fried is going to be tweeting and they're going to start trading that thing? Too funny.
Sam Bankman-Fried is a piece of shit. He's a liar and a degenerate, and he should be banned from X, and he should be locked up and thrown away the key. He should not be granted a pardon. That tweet, I read that tweet. It was completely disingenuous. It was full of lies. And I'll tell you why it was full of lies. The only reason FTX was actually able to pay back everybody, which they were, let's not lie about that. They actually were able to pay back all their creditors, including everyone who got rugged and had an account over there, because they invested in Anthropic and some other venture plays that turned into like 100x returns for them. And so the bankruptcy, the guy heading up the bankruptcy over at Sullivan Cromwell was sitting on all of a sudden billions of dollars to pay out to creditors. So yes, you lost the money because you stole the money. The only reason you got any money back is because you made some good bets on venture plays, happened to get lucky. And so people did get paid back, but that doesn't mean you didn't commit the crime. So it's just unbelievable to me that, first of all, he has an X account. I mean, how many convicted criminals sitting in prison still have X accounts?
Well,
is this okay now?
Apparently it's his friend tweeting on his behalf. Remember?
Yeah, but I mean, really, Elon? Like, is that okay with you? Is that what we want on X, is convicted criminals who defrauded people out of billions of dollars to still have essentially a mouthpiece to talk to, billions of people that are on this platform? I think it's insane. This whole thing is fugazi. It's all a lie. And by the way, Richard Hart called him out too. Richard Hart called him out and was like, yeah because he basically said what I just said.
Here's Richard Hart's reply. Gambling money stole from customers and having a few of the bets pay off doesn't cancel out the stealing.
Exactly.
Save thousands of people from being ruined by you and others. Crypto was invented to remove middlemen and counterparty risk, not your keys, not your coins. And then he went on and shares, this looks like a AI prompt of all of the crimes, terms and services, and everything else that FTX had, SBF, and bonuses, etc. So, interesting.
Fuck SBF. He deserves to be in prison. He deserves to sit out his full term. He should not be pardoned, and he should not have access to an X. I don't care if it's through a mouthpiece. That's still his account. His account is still active. Like, I don't get it. Like, what if imagine he murdered 10 babies? Do we still, is that okay, Elon? Like, where do you draw the line? Like, convicted criminals should not have access to their X account. Is that completely an insane thing to say? I don't know. Maybe I'm just being over dramatic today. I don't know. But I just feel like, look, people are still potentially getting wrecked and losing money because how many insiders are trading those tweets, like you just said? It's all fucked up, man. It's all fucked up. But all right, let's get back into a happier Halloween spirit. I want to say hello to everybody. By the way, we got to Martin challenged us today. I don't know if you saw this, Nick. Martin challenged us to say certain words on the live stream. I guess you got the idea maybe from Brian Armstrong. Did you guys hear that story?
Yeah, I saw that. So Brian Armstrong, Coinbase, during their meeting, their earnings report, which they beat, and that's why stock price went up. At the very end of it, he's like, oh, I'm looking at the prediction markets on Coinbase, so I want to make sure to say the words Bitcoin, Ethereum, blockchain, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. Because in a time when everybody is talking about insider trading with the government officials shouldn't be able to trade, in a time where now the FBI is going after NBA players for rigging games, essentially, betting on their games, faking injuries, at a time where everybody thinks the NFL is now staged and nobody, with gambling, there's a lot of shady information coming out, and then he goes ahead and seals the deal on bets on a prediction platform that is powered by Base Chain and Coinbase. That's kind of sketchy to me. Not to say he made money on it or insiders knew he was going to do it, and some people in crypto is like, oh, what a Chad move, what a boss move. But what if you were betting on him not saying those things? And instead of it being a true bet and you would have won, now he's just looking at the prediction markets, looking at the odds, and saying words just to pay people's bets out. I don't really like it. I know Twitter's like, oh, what a Chad. But if you look on the side of the actual gambling and everything that's going on with the FBI and fraud in sports, I think it's a bad look.
Yeah, he's like, that's like some game theory stuff. That's like some next level Fucking, you know that? Yeah, I forgot the name of that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, Inception shit. Where I don't know, but I think he did it in jest. I don't think it was malicious. But you bring up some very good points about, let's just call the deteriorating moral stature of the United States. I don't think we should really become a society where we can just gamble on everything so freely. It's too easy to corrupt stuff at that point, right? And this is a good example. I think he did as a joke, but the NBA story, that's scary stuff. If you're in that league, if you're think about it, you're employed by some random team, you're just a guy making six figures, you're relying on the league to do well, to retain your job and pay your mortgage. And then there's people out there taking advantage of this rampant gambling and the prop bets. By the way, the prop bets are the big problem, the in-game betting. To the point where I don't want to watch the NBA anymore. Not that I watch the regular season anyway, because it's a waste of fucking time. But even the playoffs, I'm like, how can you really trust? And I definitely don't want that to happen in the NFL. And it's already, you see what happens with some of these teams, man, getting these bad calls, and you start those thoughts creeping in your mind. The sports leagues cannot have that. It needs to be stamped out. They need to calm down with this gambling shit. Not to mention it's destroying the lives of many young men out there whose brains are not fully developed. They get addicted to gambling. They're wasting their money, all their parents' money on this betting. It's not good. It's not good. And I'm a free world, freedom guy. But at some point, I mean, the leagues, they got to stop this. And I don't know, if you go back to the Brian Armstrong story, if you're going, you're betting on these inconsequential random things instead of taking your money, investing in things that just slowly go up over time to get you and your family wealthy, well, I'm not really feeling that sorry for you if that's what you spend your time doing and you get wrecked by Brian Armstrong. That you stepped into the arena, guys. It's just like the meme coin world, right? You stepped into the arena, you got wrecked, you got burned, and that's the game you play. So I don't feel that bad, but I just feel the sports industries, they got to get a lid on this, bud. They really do.
Yeah, I mean, if you're betting on people to say words in meetings, that's a little crazy. I mean, I don't know. I'm just not doing that. But I love sports betting. But at the same time, when you have insiders defrauding, faking injuries, all that kind of stuff, that's kind of wild. And I was even on a trip, it was probably 5 years ago. And it was my buddy who was there, was like, hey, I just got a tip from a friend of a friend. Assistant coach said that instead of doing a running play the first play of the game, they're going to do a passing play, and that's very rare. Normally, you come out in football, you run the ball, and you see what's up. Well, what do you know? Passing play happened. It's like, wow, that's kind of scary. Just my buddy's a nobody, but a friend of a friend's assistant coach said they're going to go crazy and do a running play 4-1 odds, bet on it, and that's what happened. So it just happens. I don't know how you fight it, and those players really aren't supposed to be gambling anyways. That's why the feds are looking into it and people are getting arrested and whatnot. But yeah, pretty crazy.
I'm happy about that. I mean, I'm happy they're cleaning it up. I just feel like, I don't know, it goes on too much longer. You have stories. If the NFL gets tainted, NBA is one thing.
That's already going to happen. I just told you a random dude 5 years ago was getting tipped off what the first.
I mean, I know, but hopefully that's not a true story. That was just a good guess. I'm just hoping it was just a good guess, and that was all. The whole thing was a lie. And he just got it right, because sometimes they come out and do a passing play. I mean, probably 30% of the time, whatever. But to me, if the NFL gets tainted, man, that's bad news for a lot of folks. So NFL, just the whole society, I don't love it. I don't love the direction it's going. Just betting on everything and like it's just a free for all. I don't know. It doesn't sit too well with me. But
let's get back to crypto here. I know there's not much in the news, but we're talking too much. We're getting too much off the path here. But
okay, let's talk about Pulse Chain.
here's Pulse Chain. We had the inverse head and shoulders, hit the target, got rejected at the green line again, but hit exactly where the target was. Look where the target is. Look where the wick tie was. And that is coming back down into the neckline. So now you really want to hold where this intersection of the green dotted line and the white uptrend line is again. Create another higher low, which I think Richard Hart is smart enough to know he needs to do, and see if we can follow through. Obviously, this is showing good strength, but then you had the FOMC sell-off on Bitcoin and Ethereum. That has dragged Pulse Chain as well. I think Ethereum is down something like 10 or 12%. Pulse Chain is down 15%. And Bitcoin down not quite as much. Obviously, it's the largest of the three assets. So we'll see what happens here. Not fun. I mean, you get that little bit of hopium. You have some green candles. Surf got up to like 700K market cap. PTGC back into the 70 millions. Pulse Chain back to major resistance. And FOMC sell-off. So that's why we're digressing and talking about SPF and talking about sports betting and Brian Armstrong paying out some prediction markets by saying words, because there really isn't much going on. A lot of these charts are putting higher lows in, which is good to see, but they aren't making you rich. It's like, okay, I'm up 2% off the low now. Now I'm up 3%. Now I'm up 1%. Now I'm up 5%. It's just nothing exciting, no major news, nothing much is going on. We do see over on Pulse Chain, this is called X Game. This is the one thing that was getting a lot of hype, but I think this is a story that shows you how hard it is to swim upstream and have success. So X Game down here, I don't know what the market cap was. The founder said, hey, we're going to be launching a multi-chain crypto casino, and I'm going to be injecting $1 million of cash into the X Game token to cause a pump. People didn't really believe him. He started doing that, and in fact, he injected $3.5 million in cash and gave token supply to KOLs and influencers. And then what do you know? The casino launched and insiders dumping on your head. Not insiders, but some of those KOL and influencers apparently started selling the bags. That spooks the entire market. Pulse Chain goes down 15%. And now you see this drastic waterfall effect. Now, we didn't give a call on this. We're not affiliated with this. We didn't promote it. It's still up from these levels. But again, it just shows you how hard it is. This dev put $3.5 million in cash market buys into a project, plus got KOLs and influencers to support it. And right now it's net down where a lot of KOLs and influencers started talking about it. I marked it here in the green line. Pretty wild to see, and shows you it's hard to make things pump when the overall market isn't there to help you either.
Damn, yeah, I heard about that story. I heard there may be some shady stuff happening behind the scenes that obviously we don't know those full details. It could be as simple as what Nick said, people just sold out after the pump, or it could have been the dev selling to recoup some
of the money.
Who knows?
It wasn't the dev. He put $3.5 million and he's holding a bag. He put his own cash in there. The rumor is it's a couple of the influencers and KOLs that just full clipped, and then you get panic in the market.
Terrible. Terrible. Yeah, hard to swim upstream. This is not an easy market for altcoins, period. That's why we're just randomly bantering on about the NFL, etc. But just to zoom out a little bit, I mean, look, this is one of those challenging moments, and we've been in this phase for a few months now, the consolidation, altcoins doing nothing, Bitcoin really doing nothing. You're watching gold pump, S&P 500. It's hard, right? It's hard. But you have three choices any given moment in time in these markets. Buy, hold, or sell. Those are your choices, guys. Those are your choices. And so for me, someone who believes that we are going to end up going higher at some point here, likely to correspond with the start of quantitative easing, or maybe even sooner than that, my choice is to hold. My choice is to hold. I'm not really buying much. I'm not aping into stuff. I'm just kind of chilling on my assets. I'm going to invest in the backstage pre-sale. Other than that, haven't really done much. I'm just holding. And I'm chilling. And I'm touching grass. And I'm bantering with Nick here on the live stream. I'm just living my life. Because buy, hold, or sell. That's all you can do, guys. Just decide what you want to do. Lean into that. Touch grass if you need to. It's all going to be fine. Markets will eventually go up. But I'm staying away from those altcoins. That's for fucking sure.
Yeah, I mean, Ethereum here has still been in this range. It's at the lower end of the range now. You kind of want it to start holding and turning around. That's what we were hoping we were seeing with the triangle breaking out the other day. But I think it's still good to zoom out. Back in April, we're down to 1,700. Played out an inverse head and shoulders. We almost got to new all-time highs, and now we're here sideways consolidating with the macro fundamentals looking good. QT about to end. QE about to start. More interest rate cuts are here. Gold doing well. So hopefully we see Bitcoin and Ethereum follow. Remember, Bitcoin usually lags gold by 80 days, 60 to 80 days, which would put you in November. We should be seeing a big run in Bitcoin. And then also history repeats itself by December 9th. We should already have new all-time highs in Bitcoin before the next FOMC meeting, which should lead to yet another interest rate cut.
When you think about headwinds versus tailwinds, there aren't a lot of headwinds right now outside of, you could say, market manipulation. You could say whales selling. You could say those who believe in the 4-year cycle, they're selling. Okay, so those are certainly headwinds. Outside of that, there are no headwinds. There's a lot of tailwinds. There's a lot of tailwinds with further interest rate cuts down the line, the QE starting, the comprehensive market structure bill that Brian Armstrong himself is saying is close to the finish line, a bipartisan agreement between the Dems and the Republicans to basically regulate crypto in a sane fashion. That's a big, big tailwind. You have S&P 500 printing all-time highs almost every other day. Gold already smashed through all-time highs. I don't know. I just feel like if you look at the macro and you look at the tailwinds, headwinds, there's just not a lot stopping us from pumping here other than these goddamn whales.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but there is just not many net buyers either. You know, institutions have been buying on the ETFs, but like I said, other than that, no new retails coming into the market. Nobody's super excited, and these
Well,
whales
Binance
are what's going
wait for
on.
me to turn off the sell button for an hour. We'll be back at 115,000, and then
That's
retail's
true.
flooding
If
back
it
in, and then everyone's printing long, and everyone's like, "Long the market, long the market."
Yeah, you can see even when Ethereum, it doesn't take much. When Ethereum was just $4,000 again, the morale and momentum switches quickly. And if it, in fact it is market makers and Binance trying to trade that, or BlackRock or whoever, that makes a lot of sense. Or if it's just their market participants, their users selling, then not much you can do about that. So, but yeah, if in fact they have the market maker on, it's like, hey, make a little less on the market and trading fees off your market maker for a little bit. Turn that thing off, and let's see what the market wants to do. Because again, it doesn't take much for momentum and route. $5,000 ETH is literally a stone's throw away. A few days ago, we were at like $4,100, $4,400. So we'll see what happens.
We'll be back there soon enough. I mean, I think
it just makes the live show so boring. Not much going on, and you can see that in viewership. I'm looking at our viewership; it's way down. Randy Hipper, hers is down by 250 live streamers right now. Bitcoin Ben only has 19 people watching him. Coach X, his first live show back in forever, only has 10 people watching. There's just nobody tuned in right now, and there's not much going on in the market, so probably it's a good day to take off. But we'll see what happens.
I get it. I'll be out celebrating Halloween with my kids in a few hours here, so I get people doing that. That's perfectly fine. But I also feel like if you want to actually make money in these markets, you kind of have to pay attention and be active even during the shit. And not to say you got to be working, you got to be in the trenches 12 hours a day hunting meme coins. Like there's an opportunity like that, but be a little bit plugged in, be a little bit tuned in. I mean, God, think about what happened the last few days just within the Crypto Paradise community. First of all, giving away $1,000 every month to the most active people, so that's money to be made. We had a pretty decent call on XXX. I think that one, it's on a correction right now, but it should recover. And everyone in the DAO is getting an airdrop of that token. I think it's around 40,000 market cap even after the correction. We got in at 20.
And we're still waiting for the Frontier Fund to close out the round. Hopefully that's more profits paid to us in the next few days. And then also, if you have 200,000 surf or more, you're going to be able to get into the backstage pre-sale. This is the final raise they're doing before their launch that's happening like November 5th. And they're launching on Kraken and a decentralized exchange at a very good valuation. Do some research on them. They got some big players behind them. So that's kind of an exclusive thing to the Crypto Paradise DAO. We said, hey, we're really interested in this project. We want to use the project. We want to promote the project. In exchange for that, can some of our community members get in a flash sale to get into a pre-sale round? I said, hey, we actually do have a little bit left over that we're willing to give you in exchange for that spotlight, that marketing, and want you guys to get on board and use the platform.
Yeah, so there's still opportunity. There's still, I think, reasons to stay at least somewhat engaged. I get taking a day off here or there. Market's a little bit, quote, boring. But I don't know. I just feel like if you zoom out, everything's in a good spot. Like, a few months ago, we were sub $100,000 Bitcoin. We're now well above it. ETH was, it was only a few months ago. The ETH was like $2,000. So we've gone up 100% in what, 3-4 months. So I don't know. People, they get trapped in the moment and red day, green day, and I get it. I mean, I'm no different. But it always pays to sort of just look back. I don't know, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. In your own portfolio, and then also the wider market, and say, oh, you know what? I'm actually up in that time frame, and really wasn't that long ago. So I don't know. I just feel like hang in there, stay locked in if you can. Smash the like, share, subscribe, like Todd said. I mean, there's people tuned in, man. There's still people tuned in. Baguito, shout out to Baguito. Baguito's going for the $1,000. I know this because he's been active and he's been engaged, and I appreciate that, my friend. I really do. People trade FTX. What's interesting about FTX is the fact that it's still listed places. Like, where is it listed and why is it still listed?
That's a good question.
The exchange is defunct. It scammed everyone. The founder's in prison. Why is it still listed?
It's probably better to still have it listed as an asset on your exchange than removing it, because then at least if people want to get out, they can take that liquidity, whatever is available.
Yeah, true.
For the dust. But yeah, I feel what you're saying. It definitely shouldn't be like supported or promoted, but hey, Binance is like, hey, maybe somebody's been living under a rock and they just wake up today and they're like, oh shit, FTX went bankrupt. Let me get my dust out of there.
If you don't know about FTX by now, I mean, yeah, you're living under a whole mountain of rocks.
Coin Ghost,
Coin Ghost, how you doing, bud? Peacock looking strong as fuck.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. One thing on that is actually still mooning in the overall market and on Pulse Chain is Peacock. We did a trade on that. We bought it like September 29th and sold it October 12th. So 2 weeks, made 304% gains. It had a consolidation. We should have bought it back here. We just didn't. We were live here saying, wow, this kind of looks like a triangle. Maybe we need to just buy it back here slightly cheaper. Never got around to it. And actually mooning on the fact that they said they're releasing a new protocol, a new platform, new product, and that will drive revenue that's going to be used for buybacks and burns of Peacock for the first time. Peacock has been doing buybacks and LP ads. Now they're announcing buybacks and burns. The market loves it, but also their revenue continues to produce based on their bridge utility, and they just keep buying their own supply. And the thing is, with finite supply assets, it's very unique. When you do buybacks, buying LP ads, and buying burns, over time, regardless of what the market is doing, you're going to start to create these rounded lows, and price is going to go up, and it's only a matter of time before green candles is the best marketing. And now everybody on Pulse Chain is looking at Pulse Chain and like, well, nothing else is exciting going on, so I'm going to FOMO buy into Peacock. And that's what we see here. We do know that the Dow fund at Surf has like 2,500 in PLS, and we proposed, hey, why don't we just take half of that, do a $1,250 market buy on Surf because it's undervalued, do a $1,250 market buy on Peacock. Granted, it's on a parabolic move. Will there be consolidation? Probably, but we probably should create an LP with Peacock because I think Peacock, regardless of the short-term volatility, is going to be a long-standing asset that's going to do very well on Pulse Chain. That liquidity pool will help drive value and volume for the Surf token. And, of course, we can tag Liberty Swap, tag the Peacock community, and be like, hey, we're supporting you. We're going to start an LP. This is the first buy that we've done. Here's $2,500 LP with Surf token. And maybe in the future, we'll keep adding to that LP over time.
Well, you just reminded me. By the way, shout out to the DAO members who voted to use the DAO funds in this fashion, buying Surf, buying Peacock, creating that LP pair. We'll do some marketing just like Nick said. But thank you for reminding me because when you turn over to the Surf chart, I'm going to go ahead and initiate this buy of Surf right now. Just fat finger it because, who cares about slippage? Am I right?
Such a low market cap. Screw it. Fat finger it.
Fat finger it. And let's do a little live action buyback here of the Surf token. Always fun. Always a great time. And let's just see. Let's just see what happens. We need a little life in the Surf token. Need a little, what's actually incredible? Hold on, Nick.
Oh, big green candle.
Big green candle.
3% green candle off a little Dow buy.
There you go.
Shabby.
That's always fun. We actually gained 22 holders in the past, couple days.
Yeah, I think people are seeing the value. Also, if we looked at this chart, we were showing this live on air. We are doing this triangle here, and we're right here in the live show. It looks like it wants to break out, and it actually broke out in a big way. And then, of course, immediately while it's breaking out, Pulse Chain's down 15%. So now we're back down. But again, it's important to hold these higher lows, which we are doing now because this is the previous low down here at 4.3, and now we're holding 4.7. So that's why the Dow wants to put those funds into work, do that $1,200 buyback, add an LP with Peacock, let Peacock do some work, let the buys and burns continue. And we still have no expectation wallet funds. We still have revenue that Crypto Paradise is about to be earning at the end of this month, the first week of next month. And, we like to use some of that revenue for buys and burns as well. So the burning continues. Let's see what that does for Crypto Paradise here and the Surf token. Burn statistics. Uploading, boom. So just now 3.6% of the total Surf supply has been bought and burned off the market forever. That also doesn't include the Surf that's in the various LP pools that is effectively burnt off the open market as it's sitting over there. And yeah, slowly but surely going up. Another 5,800 Surf been bought and burned. And the average burn is still like 209,000 per day. So that's what we like to see. Also, the burns do directly impact the amount of Surf that's being reflected to holders. It's usually double. So now 5% of the Surf token total supply has been deflationary rewards sent out to Surf holders. So congratulations to you. Your Surf bag is growing. The burns are increasing. Our LPs are increasing. And now we're just kind of waiting for Pulse Chain to give us some green candles and some life. And while we wait, the revenue that Crypto Paradise produces is just slowly going to be buying and burning the Surf away forever. And I don't know about you, but this Surf chart with this up, this down, rounded bottom, man, if Pulse Chain would have stayed green for us, this breakout would have been perfect to look just like the Peacock chart here. Because if you zoom out on Peacock, well, what'd it do? It went up, down. People forgot about it, rounded bottom, and then all of a sudden, they make the surge. They're buying it back and burning. They're doing new revenues. They're releasing new product protocol, and then green candles are the best marketing. And this is what is the only thing on green on Pulse Chain right now, so everybody's getting in on the trade. And that's how you get charts just like that. This looks just like surf. Look at the launch. Launch, consolidation. This is where we told you go YOLO. Does its 10x, down, spikes, and then boom, rounded bottom, and here we go. Surf would have been right about here if Pulse Chain would have stayed green, because we had the rounded bottom, we had the breakout, but oh wait, Peacock also sold off and then continued higher. So we'll see what happens with Surf. Obviously need help from the market, need to do our job and get some new Surf holders on board, but also it's nice that revenue and DeFi yield and everything else is getting to buy and burn a ton of Surf tokens at these lows. Because remember, when price is lower, that $1,200 buy buys a hell of a lot more Surf than when price is higher.
That's a very good point. And honestly, I don't even mind this consolidation phase. Let's allow whoever wants to sell and get out, although I think a lot of the price performance on Surf and probably other favorite Pulse Chain assets aren't so much sellers, maybe a handful of them, but rather just, price getting dragged down by the LP pools, right? We're connected to PLS and all the other blue chips and many other coins on Pulse Chain. If they're going down, then Surf naturally goes down too, without even sellers needing it, helping that out. So, you can see the fact we've gained like 50 holders in the past week, and yet price is down. So, not too worried about it. Very happy that we are burning more tokens now with every buy that happens, like you mentioned. So, not worried at all. Need the overall market to cooperate. Interesting, and I like this thought from Bagito. Partner with Peacock. Yeah. We know them. They actually engage with some of our content. I know Nick knows them quite well. They're working on adding Surf to their platform, so you can buy Surf directly as you go across the bridge. Just buy Surf immediately. But we have a tax token, so they're working through that, as I understand it. And we're about to add this LP pool, right, with Peacock. So, yeah, I think we can make something happen there. But like Nick said, I think you need overall Pulse Chain, overall market to start going up.
Nothing really.
Yes, you got one runner happening, but come on, this is not a bull run, guys. Alt season's nowhere near, so you just gotta be patient.
Yeah, nothing's changed. Nothing happens until ETH gets above 5,000. And right now, ETH went from 4,300 down to 3,800. And Pulse Chain went down 15%. So there's only so much you can do. It is good that other projects are creating some volume and burning Surf. Surf's burning itself. We're getting revenue as Crypto Paradise to buy and burn. But when bull market is here, the revenue on Crypto Paradise goes way up. That means the buy and burns go way up. It's the same thing that Peacock was saying. Why did Peacock nearly go to zero? Well, the bridge was very inactive. They didn't have other revenue sources. Now the revenue sources are up, and I just saw their tweet. This run is really with them just announcing new products, announcing that they will be using revenue for buy and burns, and now they bought and burned $150,000 in the past month and a half. That isn't all that much, but you get green candle FOMO, you get people speculating on the future, and then you get them doing 150K of market buys and burns. Well, that's how price goes up, and that's how you get that rounded bottom.
Yeah, shout out to those guys. Great work. That's a not insignificant amount of money for a buy and burn, certainly in a market like we're in, where their bridge is probably making some money, but I mean, I don't know how much. And Richard Hart, I think, is doing his darndest to help Pulse Chain. I'm seeing continuing across my feed more and more influencers espousing the benefits of Pulse Chain, saying how wonderful the community is. Wow, look at these wonderful DeFi tools. There's one influencer in particular, I forgot his name, who is just astonished about how wonderful Pulse Chain is. And I think, he's claiming it's not paid. I don't know if it's paid. It doesn't really matter. These people are out here now supporting Pulse Chain. Influencers are doing that. I think Richard Hart is probably buying up the chart as well, supporting the price at critical levels. So, you're seeing what you want to see out of Pulse Chain. But look, if Ethereum is dumping, if Bitcoin is dumping, if all risk assets are down because people are whatever scared of this, that, the other, then, this is the direction of the market. You can't really fight it too much.
Yeah, I mean, even BNB's back to $1,000, even with them doing another $1.4 billion burn or whatever the heck they just did. So it's a tough market out here right now. You can see that BNB after our live show buys up 80%. It looks like it's consolidated again on moving averages, and really just want to see Ethereum and Bitcoin catch a bid, and Binance BNB will be off to the races again. And I think, if we're looking for Ethereum to be $8,000, $10,000, $20,000, then you got to be looking for Binance to be $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 a cycle. And that's when we get euphoria. I mean, BNB strength doesn't have the same impact as Ethereum. Why is that? Until recently, BNB was not available to a lot of the United States and a lot of market participants. So that's one reason that it having success doesn't put riches in the pocket of the many, it puts it in the few, which means that those profits can't roll over to other assets. Also, it doesn't have near the liquidity bonding. Ethereum has liquidity bonding with many more altcoins, including Bitcoin and wrapped Bitcoin, because it is kind of the OG and the safest layer one available and kind of the leading tech provider. So when it does well, it helps so many other projects do well. Also, a lot more OGs are in ETH. There's a lot more global network access to Ethereum. There's more holders of ETH than there are BNB when it comes to retail markets. And when ETH goes up, those profits can overflow into other assets. So again, I know it sounds like we're beating a dead horse, but nothing fun happens until Ethereum gets and closes above $5,000 on the weekly chart. And I know it sounds stupid now, but when it happens, you'll be like, wow, okay, they were right. And maybe there just wasn't a lot to talk about, because right now there really isn't. If we scroll through hundreds and hundreds of crypto and stocks, look at everything, plus or minus 2%. I can't make excitement happen. I can't make opportunities happen for you. And the only thing that continues to do well is privacy, as ZEC is looking more like the NASDAQ and trying to go to new all-time highs here, up to $375, up 8% on the day. And Zen is up 3%, trying to fight above $12. Again, this would be a Wyckoff schematic. You had this massive accumulation, this breakout, and now you are needing to hold this white line levels, which it is, to continue to $20 and above. So that's all we're sitting on. That's the play. Maybe get some Zen to hold this level for 20. Maybe you got to chase the privacy narrative with Zcash. I don't know. And look for Ethereum to hold levels and get above $5,000.
I'm not chasing anything, but what does happen in these sort of bored doldrums markets is you often have like one sector or one coin outperforming. And when that happens, the greedy folks, the people chasing green candles, they will FOMO into that play. And so that's why you'll see like Zcash running, because it's the only thing going up. So if you like to buy things that are going up, that's the only place to put your money. And so it becomes self-fulfilling prophecy up until the early whales decide to dump and crush the chart, and then it dies and the money goes somewhere else. So this is not unusual. I don't chase those things. I just stay convicted in my core holdings and wait for things to happen, because I don't like getting dumped on by early whales. But, this is the market that we're in. Boredom, nothing happening. One coin outperforming, people filming into that. I ain't touching it. Sticking with my conviction bags, and market will turn around, guys. Market will eventually turn around, and we will be here for it.
Here's somebody. Oh, you can read this comment first.
Yeah. And then I remember somebody got to do for Max. Bear market until February. Yeah, maybe. I mean,
read the comment. Read the comment, Cryptometer, for everybody listening.
Oh, sure. Bear market until February, but it'd be fun to see. Pulse Chain is the only green chain out there. This would pump Pulse Chain even further. I mean, yeah, it'd be great. And I think Richard Hart is trying to engineer that. But you know what's kind of crazy? Is CZ himself, the richest guy in crypto, with the biggest exchange, all the users, all the attention, could engineer only a 3-day meme season on BNB chain. And granted, he did actually make BNB itself go up for a long, long time, which was very impressive. But if you're talking about altcoins on BNB, those outperformed for 3 or 4 days. So it's very hard to swim upstream. I would be surprised if Pulse Chain could pull that off. I would love for that to happen. Absolutely love for that to happen. Not expecting it. Not expecting it to happen. I'm expecting it to run like crazy once ETH is above 5,000. But until then, it's, you're swimming uphill. But yeah, that'd be great to see, man. I would love to see that. And Richard Hart's doing his darndest.
I'd be very surprised if we saw a bear market until February, because that would just break all historical trends. And I guess we're saying, hey, it's an elongation, so why does this Q4 have to be green? But just with QE turning off, QE turning on, interest rate cuts, gold already ran, everything macro-wise would point that would be quite the doldrum if Bitcoin and ETH just went sideways to lower here for the next 4 months.
We already had. How long is this consolidation period going on? At least 3 months, if I'm not mistaken. So that would be extremely, and this is one of the longest consolidation periods of this cycle, right? So I don't think it goes on until February. Look, it doesn't take much for the market to flip bullish again. It takes a couple days in a row of 3% on Bitcoin, 4%, 5% on ETH, 5% on Sol. You string a handful of those days together, and all of a sudden people are feeling bullish again. They're risk on, and they're buying assets and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So things can flip very quickly in these markets. I would be surprised if it lasts till February. My prediction was within 2 weeks after this FOMC meeting, we're back towards $125,000 Bitcoin. We'll see if that plays out.
Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin's essentially been consolidating since May or even July, and Ethereum has been consolidating since August. So quite a while of consolidation and chop. Not much going on. The only thing that's really paying us on those large caps is the Frontier Fund has been trading the chop for us and making us some money. You can see by these green and red candles that we've been trading it, and Todd's been trading it over in the Learn Crypto group, making some money here and there. But there's only so much you can do, and that's why even some altcoins, we made a little money in them. We've had some pre-sales launches. Some, there's only so much you can do when this is what you're seeing on the biggest assets in the entire crypto sphere.
Yeah. But I don't think it's going to last too much longer. I mean, if it goes till February, that would be extremely long consolidation.
Yeah.
We're already at the longest of this cycle. So now you're talking about another 4 or 5 months of it. I just don't see that happening. Not with all the macro tailwinds. But, you never know. I mean, you never know. There's a lot of whales out there. Market manipulation. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes. You just got to stay locked in and stay believing this asset class, because if I cheated out at every consolidation or every dump, I'd have no Bitcoin left, and I'd be working my normal job like a schmo.
Here's somebody who kind of agrees with us. Hasu said, not sure if Brian thought he was helping anyone here, but the opposite feels true. The subjects of a bet becoming self-aware and actively changing their behavior is ironically the failure mode of prediction markets that will lead to liquidity drying up. So this is kind of my pessimistic view. Number one, I think that is just as bad as insider trading, and or you're changing the direction of your company and of your speech in order for prediction markets to pay out, which is never good. And then number two, liquidity drying up. Yes, now people are betting on this rather than going and buying Bitcoin, are betting on you saying the word Ethereum rather than buying ETH, are betting on you saying the word blockchain rather than creating and speculating and diamond handing and having belief that blockchain can change society. That is why liquidity is drying up. You tie that with Pump Fund over at Solana, where they've extracted over $1 billion from Solana's chain and from the ecosystem for people to cheat into memes that last 1 hour, 1 day, 3 days, and makes it hard for legitimate cult memes to actually build a following and build long-term believers. Everybody is so short-minded that the little bit of retail money that is still in the market is just recycling and churning so fast that nothing actually can build a base and go up and to the right. Even with projects like Surf that are buying and burning hundreds of $1,000s worth of token, still struggle to find a footing. It takes Peacock to finally get a breakthrough around the bottom to have some success. Hopefully they can continue. But this is the behavior that we were talking about that I think, A, is borderline illegal. I know you're just trying to have fun with it. B, changes the identity and the direction of the meeting. Remember, this is a earnings meeting for traditional finance for an S&P 500 company. Is that the time and the place to make sure that some ancillary prediction market pays out? Probably not. And then C, now you're going to have people like, oh, what's this prediction market he's talking about? I'm going to take my $100 of Bitcoin and just go bet it over there rather than hold spot.
Well, my hope is that it actually causes people to second guess and question whether they want to be betting on random stuff happening on earnings calls. I just don't think that's a productive use of capital. They should be investing in assets that go up over time, not gambling whether a 50-50 thing happens, or not even 50-50. I mean, what are the chances that he spouts out the word, I guess the chance he spouts out the word blockchain on an earnings call in his crypto company is somewhat probable. But I digress. The point is, I think there's better use of capital. Maybe some people realize, wait, I shouldn't be betting on random happenings in the world, and I should actually invest my money properly. That's how you make money over time, guys. You don't make money by just betting on random things that have 50-50 chance of happening. I'll never understand it why people do this with their time and their money, but hey, I guess I'm old school like that. I don't know. I think he did it as a joke, but I agree he shouldn't have done it. The one thing I will say about the prediction market, poly market, it's actually one of those rare D-apps that utilizes crypto and blockchain, but the vast majority of users don't realize that. That's actually a very good thing for this industry, if you think about it, right? Like, we all want to get to a point where everyone around the world is using crypto and blockchain in their everyday life, but they don't realize it. Because most people aren't going to bother with MetaMask and all the complicated shit. But if it's happening in the background,
I want to play the Brian Armstrong here so people can see just like how it wasn't just like an in-passing thing. This is the end of an earnings call for an S&P 500 company. Tell me what you think
on that. I was a little distracted because I was tracking the prediction market about what Coinbase will say on their next earnings call, and I just want to, add here the words Bitcoin, Ethereum, blockchain, staking, and Web3 to make sure we get those in before the end of the call.
I mean, that's just like as blatant as it gets, and that's why I didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it sounds like because I think I have a little echo for some reason, but it sounds to me like he could have had some of his friends place these bets. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, you're having investigators and regulators come after you, like right? Because like, how is that not then insider trading on this gambling platform, on this prediction platform? Like, it's bad look. But zoom out, wider sort of a view. If you're betting on these things, you gotta look at yourself in the mirror. And if you get wrecked, it's like, dude, that's you stepped into the arena, you got wrecked by fucking gambling. That's what happened to you. So I don't feel that bad for these people.
Well, let's see. Let's final check in. Bitcoin trying to get back to 110. It's at 109.6. Ethereum trying to get to 4,000. Where's that at? It's at 3,860. Not doing too much, but up green today. And yeah, the best performer on my whole watch list here is FTT up 13% on the back of SBF making a tweet.
I think the most important topic of today, which we did not get to, is what are you going for as Halloween? And are you going to a party? Are you going trick-or-treating? What is your plan?
Yeah, tonight I'm not really going on as anything. Luca will be doing, what is he? He's like a mummy zombie or something like that. We're going to hop on the golf cart and drive around. I'll let him do his trick-or-treating. But like you, I'm going to have a couple beers in the cup holder of the golf cart and won't be walking. We'll be driving them from door to door. My neighborhood is decently big, but not everybody participates. So the walking last year was, your 4 or 5 houses in between the next one. So we'll just hop on the golf cart. I'll drive around, have a couple beers, and let him collect some candy for me.
That sounds great, man. That's what it's all about, right? The kids getting out there, getting their sugar fix. The adults getting out there and getting drunk with each other.
Also, the one thing I don't like now about Halloween and why some of the houses don't do it anymore is they have the trunk or treats. And everybody gets in a parking lot and there's infinite amount of candy, and then the kids just go around for 5 minutes, collect a bag full of candy, and that's it. I don't know. When I was a kid, you had to work for it. You had the pillowcase, you got a little exercise, you're with your friends, you're walking around the neighborhood, you're learning the streets, you're seeing the neighbors. I don't know. There was just more of a wholesome community. I don't like the trunk or treats. Also, I don't like now where they're just like, just give the kids damn candy. Don't make them work for it. Don't make them tell you a joke. I just think that doesn't help with their social skills. I liked it way more when you had to get out there, you had to go up to the guy at the door and tell him a joke while your parents is looking on. Like, come on, tell him a joke. You got to work for the candy. You got to earn the candy, not just trunk or treat where you get as much as you want within 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm surprised you guys in your town don't do proper trick or treating. Like, we don't do the trunk or treat thing. I remember I did that once at another place, but here in our town, like, kids go around and it's a proper like Halloween experience where they're going up and ringing the doorbell, grabbing the candy. Okay, there's
telling a joke, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, there's things going on outside.
We still do that here, but I'm just saying less and less of that happens because of the trunk or treats with all the schools, and I think the schools should stop doing trunk or treats. That's me being an old man and gripey old man, but I don't like it.
No, kids got to work for their candy. Like, there's no free lunch. This reminds me of the goddamn mooches living off the government, 42 million bums who can't get a job or refuse to get a job, and I got to pay an insane amount of taxes to feed their family. Like, what is this? This is bananas. No socialism, no free lunch, no free candy. Kids, you got to work. That's capitalist system that we live in. Martin, I'm so sorry, my friend. I cannot seem to find the post you made about us. Martin tried to replicate the whole Brian Armstrong thing. He wanted us to say certain words on the stream. I can't find it in the chat. I'm so sorry.
Roan, Dow, Crypto Paradise. Where's the prediction market on that?
Yeah, the society give me everything I want BS. Yeah, no, you got to work for things. Guys, getting free stuff, does that even feel good? Like, you know what feels good? Working really hard and attaining your goals. That makes you feel good. That makes you feel accomplished. That gives you self-confidence. That makes you feel good. Just being given stuff. I mean, I know a bunch of trust fund kids. They're all fucked up. They were given a bunch of money. They're all fucked up because they never had to work a day in their life. You don't want to be that. You want to work hard, have goals, achieve them, and then you can go retire and feel good about that. But I digress a little bit. I wanted to comment on something Roan had mentioned. We have been talking about this backstage pre-sale opportunity that's just been presented to the Surf DAO community, right? And I guess some YouTubers had done a deep dive. I did not see that video, Roan, so I haven't seen what their critiques were. I don't know what that was all about. I'm looking at it really from like a dollars and cents like math standpoint. I don't know how if their product is going to be successful long term. Does anyone know that for certain? Like that's impossible to know. But what I do know is it is listing at a $125,000 market cap on the second biggest exchange in America, one of the biggest in the world, called Kraken. It's also listed on MEXC, by the way, and the DEX. The founder, we spoke with him. He seems to know Web3 very well. He's rattling off names of influencers that are helping out the project. He's rattling off the ones that are shitty and the ones that are good. He has a marketing plan, right? We talked to him about this. He seems to know the music industry very well as well, by the way. It seems like he knows his core competency in his core business. Whether it's successful, whether he gets users, whether all these buybacks happen, nobody really knows. But $125,000 market cap at a 7 million FDV, listing on Kraken. It doesn't take a lot of buyers to just believe, hey, maybe this could be a thing. Oh, look, they're dropping celebrities' names on the website and the deck. Oh, this could do well. I'm going to put in $500,000. And you get a couple thousand of those people, and all of a sudden you're sitting at $5 million market cap, and you bought it in the starting market cap was 125, which is what you bought in at. So I don't know. I'm gonna ape in. I don't know whether the business will be successful. I think it will. I think it can be. But at the end of the day, it's dollars and cents to me, and the market cap's just too low, and the fact that it's listed on Kraken seems like it could be a big winner.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those sectors too, even with people talking about, are we in a recession, our money's tight or whatever. I'm telling you what, this industry, the entertainment industry, they're still charging like $1,000 for a ticket for a random Nicki Minaj concert. How do I know that? Because I had to buy some for my wife to go with her friend, and they were not cheap, and they were not even the best seats in the house. So this is a sector that people are willing to spend a lot of money to get, VIP experiences at, and that's kind of what you're doing here, or even just to go see a concert in general or go to these events. So we'll see what happens. Again, I don't know what Roan is talking about. I haven't seen that video. But I love the content, high quality content. I love the Kraken listing, MEXC listing, decentralized exchange listing, low valuation with very few tokens coming out at launch. Meaning, lately TGs have not been good. Before they used to be celebrating, everybody would want to get in. Well, here's a TG that's going to happen hopefully while the market is turning. There isn't a lot of potential sell pressure. So if the early Gs want to get out, there isn't a lot of sell pressure. And then there's a cliff before any tokens even hit the market, which means that the project has 1 month, 2 months, 3 months to kind of build levels and do well by their token with revenue generation, buys and burns, buys and LPs, marketing, promotion, whatever it may be. So that's why, you got to take a stab at something here and there. And this one makes a lot of sense. They have really high quality content, apparently have good KOLs on board, apparently have good investors on board, have a lot of followers, and apparently you have to know somebody if you're getting listed on Kraken, plus additional tier 1 exchange listings, plus a decentralized exchange on November 5th.
And I will say this about their core business, by the way. I actually think it can be very successful. They apparently already have a lot of users who are using the platform as of today. So that's one thing. But secondly, they have cornered sort of this niche segment of the market, and I think they're going to do very well and make a ton of money doing this. Even if the rest of the segment of their business doesn't do particularly well, they are basically have cornered the market of providing entertainment, concerts, DJs, parties at crypto conferences. And if you guys have ever been to a crypto conference, first of all, these after parties and these side events are really the main event. That's like why you go, right? So they're very, very popular. Everyone wants to get in these things. But they're often run and put on by, random Web3 DJs who don't really know how to host an event or host a party properly, because that is a real skill. That's not just a thing you just can wake up one day, oh yeah, I'm going to host a 10,000 person party and be good at it. Like, no. But these guys know what they're doing. They have the connections. They have all the promoters. They have connections in Ibiza, Tulum, all these places. They know where to throw parties, how to throw it. They know the DJs. To me, you can have just a very, very viable, profitable business just putting on parties at conferences, setting aside the potential of the rest of their business, which I think could also do well. So I do think fundamentally it's sound. The founder is a very switched on guy, very smart guy. I wish we had recorded that call we had with him so you guys could see for yourself. And then, the math and the low market cap and everything Nick said. I mean, to me, look, is there a guarantee? There's no guarantees. there's absolutely no guarantees. So don't risk more than you can afford to lose. And if you don't like it, and if the people in that video basically debunked everything we said, and they have more credible, you find them more credible, then don't invest. Like, I mean, no one's putting a gun to anyone's head, but I'll be putting in money, not financial advice, and hoping for the best.
Yeah, here's another interesting one. I just scrolled down October 29th. RWA Inc., which is kind of think of it as a launch pad for RWA platforms and Web3 companies, 171,000 followers. Their last launch did a 7.5x run called Piggy. Never even heard of it, 7.5x run, but they just fully sold out their public sale round for Backstage, which is good to see. That means they had some success on their last launch. Hopefully this one has some good success. And like we said, the only liquidity that's hitting the market is really if you are a Crypto Paradise DAO member, you'll get a little bit of tokens at TG, and the public round doesn't have a cliff. So they're getting linear tokens over 6 months, which means they're not getting a lump sum on TG. They're going to get a little bit of tokens every day that they can claim for 6 months, which really cuts down on the potential selling pressure of these public sale participants. So that's another good data point there. 7.5x on a project I never heard of from RWA was their last launch. Let's see if they can replicate something like that with BKS and Backstage.
Yeah, and the token economics, the fact that they sold out the public sale with those terms on the public sale round is pretty impressive, because that's not the kind of vesting that most public sale investors want and expect and like, right? Normally they want like 50% of tokens at TG and like a 2-month vesting period. They're getting no tokens, or just like a tiny little fraction of tokens, daily linear, over 6 months. So, and then they sold it out. So I don't look, again, the market's not great right now. We know that. It's just, I don't want to overly hype it or anything like that, but just the cold hard facts are very good token economics in our estimation, the Kraken listing, high quality content, good brand from our, again, that's our subjective opinion, and potentially very good business as well, and a founder who knows Web3. I don't know. I just feel like the risk reward on it adds up for me to the point where, yeah, I'm looking to invest into this pre-sale. That's it.
Yeah, we're just going through their links and everything else live on the stage, just kind of to go through the project and see what's going on here. We're getting the opportunity to invest. We got to invest by Monday, and we're kind of talking through this. I'll give the video that Roan said a watch and see what they're talking about. But again, no guarantees. This could all be fugazi. This could all be a lie. But we have seen the person's face. We do know their name. We have seen the contacts, and they do have proof of previous events.
I mean, this is a very elaborate scam. If this is some giant scam, I mean, first of all, they've been building this for 4 years. I just don't think, and they're not raised. It's not like they raised $300 million. Like, they're raising a relatively small sum. I don't see this being anything more than just a solid project. Listing on Kraken. By the way, Kraken does a heck of a lot of due diligence, too. You better believe they do significant due diligence. Not to say you should rely on someone else's due diligence, but, they do that. So, I don't know. Again, don't want to be sounding like we're shoving it down anyone's throat. It's just an opportunity. There's a lot of opportunities that come through the Crypto Paradise DAO. This won't be the last. But from my standpoint, checks a lot of what you want to see.
Yeah, we'll see. And I'm digging deeper. Followers, these are people who follow them. Mario Newfall, DAP Center, of course, us, Crypto Banter, Dex Tools. We got Von Doom following them, big name. Crypto Coin Show, big name. Justin Wu, big name. Interesting. We also have the BitLab founder here following them as well. So just trying to see what's going on here, who's following them, and what they got going on. But yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to put some money into this for sure. It's a very unique opportunity, and getting it around that arguably is the best round available, which is very rare as well.
Yes, it will be on Base Chain. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate you guys doing live research together. This is kind of fun. This is like a new segment, right? Like, let's research a project together and see what we like and what we don't like. And we'll hear from bears and bulls. But the Base Chain thing is interesting. I don't love that it's listing on Base Chain. I'll say this. If and when Base Chain does the base token and they start hyping that up, that's, I think, a great opportunity and a great moment for assets on Base. But that hasn't happened yet. And thus far, I mean, for the past, I don't know, year or so now, Base has sort of underperformed, and there hasn't been a lot of exciting projects launching on Base as far as I've been able to tell. Whereas like BNB, for example, we know that it just went on a big run. It had its little moment in the sun a few weeks ago. That would have been a cool option. But I think Base timing up with the launch of the Base token could end up working out very well, but we are sort of relying on that to some degree. So that's it could go both ways, that the Base discussion.
Yeah, the timing would be, this is happening before the Base airdrop, which I think is going to fuel the fire over on Base Chain. And then, of course, now you got Brian Armstrong and all them, working for their bags, doing prediction market shout outs and beating earnings and really trying to make Base Chain the chain for everything. And this falls really good into that sector because it's a real life RWA play, which would fall in really good with that strategy. Do they have connections to Base Chain or any of those guys? I don't know, but that would also add a lot of fuel to the fire if they have any of the connections there. And I think they might know one of the guys from Base Chain that's been tweeting. I don't know if that's public information, so I'm not going to say that. But here's feature artists and events. Ricky Martin, man, this is a flashback when I was a kid. Living La Vida Loca. I might have touched my first butt listening to that song. It came out that this guy was gay, I believe, so that was kind of odd. But, thank you for letting me get my first grind on to Living La Vida Loca. Got Enrique Iglesias. Everybody knows him. Martin Garrix, David Guetti. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here and who hops on board and what kind of revenue they can do. But the thing is, they have these connections and they've already done shows before the token's been launched, which is very rare as well.
And he would look. So let's just go back from an investment standpoint, right? Because Rowan is like, well, if I invest in this and it I take a loss or whatever, and then like I'm out of money, and like I get that, man, and that's not a great place to be. So think about it from that standpoint. But if you're investing at a $7 million fully diluted valuation, $125,000 market cap, it takes a lot for it to become a total loss. Like, I just don't, right? I mean, how is it going to get lower than those numbers? It would have to be, that would be like the worst launch Kraken's ever done. Like, there'd have to be something catastrophic.
It would have to be an outright Fugazi scam.
Right. Yeah, because like even like $10,000 of like buy pressure coming in is going to cause you to do like a 3x. And it's going to be hard to go back below your buy-in price. So I don't think taking a total loss is really in the cards. Will it do super well? Will it do 100x? Look, nobody knows. I think it has a chance. I mean, going through the site is really impressive. But taking a total loss doesn't seem like a high probability thing happening here, just based, again, on the token economics.
They've done stuff down in Tulum as well. Maybe we need to. Hopefully, they do very well, and we can tie them into the Paradise Retreat. That would be pretty dope.
We talked about Tulum on the call then, because we're doing our due diligence. He's a really nice guy, but you see things on the site, and obviously I know Tulum pretty well. So I was like, oh yeah, we got the Paradise pad down there. We love Tulum, blah blah blah. And he goes to this whole thing. And he's dropping names of spots that, like, if you didn't know about Tulum, that you wouldn't have said these things. So I don't know. That's not to say that, oh, wow, like he couldn't have researched this or he didn't know about Tulum. And what. All my point is this. The call, he came across very genuine, very solid dude, knew Web3, knew his business, knew a lot about Tulum, knew a lot about the music industry. I don't know. Listening on Kraken. I also think, like, if you're European, as I know Roan is, I don't know if Kraken's quite as big in Europe, but it's absolutely the second biggest exchange in America behind Coinbase. So it's a pretty impressive thing for this project, which is, it's not like some OG old project that Kraken decided to list after a year of it being out. This is like an initial launch on Kraken. That's an impressive thing. I don't know. I mean, and I know Kraken does good due diligence. They're a serious company. So take it what you will. Do what you want. We just bring you the opportunities. Do your own research. If you don't like it, don't invest. If you like it, go ahead and invest. It's no different than any other project.
I'm scrolling through here, just trying to dig deeper, and they got some partnership announcements here with Hacken, which is a really big Web3 company, and then you actually got a partnership with BitGet Wallet. Obviously, that doesn't guarantee a BitGet listing, but BitGet's a decent foreign exchange as well. So I mean, they have partnerships with these other big name Web3 companies. Now, you hope they didn't give them away a bunch of tokens, and based on the token economics, they couldn't have. But when you're rubbing elbows there, I mean, you get a high probability of follow through once there's actually a TG event to get, collaborations, AMA spaces, listings, whatever it may be. Maybe that costs token, maybe that costs dollars, but it's good that they've already done that back in May of this year. Interesting.
Well, what gave me a lot of confidence too is, as we were talking with him about the launch strategy, he was like, yeah, we got offers from this, that, the other exchange. but they all wanted a bunch of tokens. And, I've seen what happened on other launches where that happened, and, they all got wrecked. And so we didn't do that. We did a different approach. Super low market cap, not giving away tokens. Investors are locked up for a pretty long period of time. He's like, I want to run it to 50 million market cap on this strategy. Now, whether it gets there, anyone guess. But the fact that he kind of said those things to me indicated that, personally, he knows Web3. He's been following other launches. He knows what helps and what hurts. You'd be surprised how many founders don't know these things. A lot of them don't know these inner workings of what goes on behind the scenes, but this guy does, seemingly. And that, to me, gives me much more confidence that he's not going to fumble this and mess this up. I'll just compare it, by the way, there's another project we talked to right before. It's always good. When you're doing due diligence on projects, it's very good when you kind of do back-to-back calls. It's almost like speed dating. It's almost like when you're out there hunting for your wife or whatever, that you're dating a couple girls at the same time, because, you got to compare and contrast, see which one's the best. No different than doing due diligence in Web3. And so we had a call with another project. I liked it from a product standpoint, product market fit. It was a prediction market. I really liked the project. But the problem is that they kind of didn't seem to have they weren't as clued into like what pumps tokens. They were launching extremely high FDV. The token economics were not what you want to see. They didn't seem as plugged into like the degen token side world of crypto. Very good on the product side. Knows how to scale a business, knows how to scale a product up. Super impressive there. I didn't come away from that call thinking, oh, these guys are really switched on in terms of how to pump a token in Web3, which is a very specific skill set, different than building a business. And so then we had a call with Backstage like a few hours later or a day later. And then this guy comes out and he's saying all the right things and really indicating to me that he knows what he's doing. That was a breath of fresh air. And I was like, all right, well, clearly this chick is hotter than this chick, so I'm going with this chick. You are muted, my friend, but this is... Yeah, that's a good point. Who wants to tag Ricky Martin?
To reply to you.
Be like, yo, I touched my first butt at the bar mitzvah back when I was 13. Do you know this project, by the way? I'm a Web3 DJ now. I'm grown up. I've stopped touching butts in middle school dances, and now I'm looking to do due diligence. Do you know this project? Yeah, probably. Look, we'll go ahead and ask the team, okay? I'm not going to ask you guys to tag Ricky Martin and stalk him on Twitter. We will just ask the team whether they can produce, a tweet with Ricky Martin talking about Backstage. That'd be helpful.
Yeah, I can't find the recent tweet because I think Jesse just did a recent tweet about how TGEs are not exciting anymore and TGEs need to be exciting again to bring life back to the trenches. But here's one from October 8th, which wasn't long ago, where he said, if you're TGEing, we want to help you do it on Base with distribution through Coinbase. Stop paying sex listing fees and start building aligned holders from day one. I mean, I just shared this over to Backstage. I'm sure they already have seen this and are in contact, but it's like, that's another good opportunity. Base understands they need to do something different. And if you're a legitimate project that's launching on Base and you can't get interaction based off of these type of tweets, I think you're at a failure. So maybe they will get some kind of support. Again, no guarantee, but I was just looking for the most recent one. Jesse and others have been really saying they want TGEs to be great on Base. And here's one a couple weeks ago where we're saying, hey, reach out to us. We want to help you. We want to get you listed on Coinbase, etc. No listing fees, blah, blah, blah. So we'll see what happens here. But I did just pass this on to Backstage. And maybe Base season is coming sooner than we thought.
I mean, yeah, if they're getting this on Kraken, that means they know people at Kraken. And Kraken know people at Coinbase. It's not a big industry, guys. Like, it's not hard. If your token does very well over on Kraken and in Base chain, and it creates a lot of volume and hype, and because one of the biggest projects on Base in recent memory, then it wouldn't be hard to envision, Coinbase listing happening after that. Obviously, there's a lot of ifs there, but they have the setup, they have the connections in all likelihood to help make that happen. To me, it's like, can we get a little bit of retail interest back on coins? I mean, this project launching November 5th. So let's see what happens in the market between now and November 5th. If Ethereum starts creeping back to 4,000, Bitcoin's back above, 110, 112K, starting to see some green. I wouldn't be surprised if retail starts sort of peeking out, becoming a little less fearful, and they maybe start aping into stuff. But it's, hey, guys, these financial markets Risk is everywhere. You have to sort of accept that and embrace it, or just hold Bitcoin, hold Ethereum, and chill. Wait 10 years, and that works too. That works too.
Yeah, I think we kind of covered everything. And again, that wasn't really an overly bullish shill for Backstage. We kind of just worked through it with you guys, which was interesting. Some of you guys give us feedback, like Jay and Martin and Roan and others. So and Bagito as well. So we'll kind of play that by ear, and we'll keep talking to their team through November 5th. And I think if you want to get involved in that raise, get into the Surf DAO, 200,000 Surf, and we need those funds raised by Monday, I believe. So we're gonna be doing that.
Form is out. People got to get that going. Get their funds in over to the project, and that's how you get invested. But it's pretty rare, by the way, too. I mean, how many projects have we invested in where you invest and you have to wait like a year before the token launches? There's many of those, and I'm not happy about them. But so it's rare to say, okay, I'm sending my funds in and it's launching in 4 days. Like, that's a rare thing. So checks a lot of the boxes. I really like the project. Do your own research, not financial advice. But I will be putting my own money into the pre-sale, some of it anyway.
Yeah, maybe we'll try to get another call with the founder before the launch and the raise is concluded. Maybe pick his brain, do a final round of due diligence before the raise. We should try to do that. And then, of course, if they launch and they, in fact, launch on Kraken and they're having any success, we're going to do a founder interview with them. We're going to do the full stops because we're investing in it and we want it to do well. They have not paid us for marketing services or anything like that. We kind of did, they're interested in our investment syndicate, and we said, hey, we can provide support, blah, blah, blah. Is there any way we can still get in the investment round? And they got us in the best round possible. With, of course, it's a small maximum that we can do, but being able to get in there definitely incentivizes us to help our community, to help their community, and to help a product that is an IRL product that can help expand the view and perception of crypto as a whole if it does well. So again, could be a complete scam, but on the diligence that is available, on the token economics that is available, and in the market cycle, you got to swing at something. And I'll tell you what, swinging at this elaborate scam or swinging at a monkey meme coin, I think I'd rather swing at this.
Yeah, it's not a scam though, guys. It's really, I mean, that would be astonishing if it was. That would be impressive. Frankly, it's like, wow, you did all that work. So no, it's a legit one. That's not to say it's guaranteed to do well. So, take that information for what you will. I want to go to a Martin Garrix concert with Backstage. So I want to reach out to the founder. I want to make that happen. Let's do something down in Tulum with them as well. Let's, because we got the retreat coming up. Let's see if we can't coordinate with them and make something happen with them down there. The founder is half Mexican, by the way, which I thought was cool. So yeah, I like this one. Solid in my view. Let's see what happens. We'll monitor it. And if you're in the DAO, you guys are in the know and you have the opportunity. So get your 200,000 surf. All right, ladies and gents, I got to get to my kids' Halloween parade down at their school. So as much as I'd love to banter on and keep talking about this, that, the other, it is Halloween. We got to get dressed up. We got to start walking around town drinking beers and eating candy.
Yeah, everybody go get high on your own supply of sugar, that is, of the candy. And then let's come back to the markets. Hopefully we got some green candles. Hopefully you find some funds and we get some more information on Backstage and you get on that opportunity because then we can brag about the Surf DAO doing well, and that only can happen for you, the surf holders. And Richard Hart, go get a sugar high and slip some fat fingers on the buy button. That would be great as well.
Oh, it'll happen, ladies and gents. We're in a good spot. I know it doesn't feel like it, but we are in a good spot. So get out there, touch grass, do some trick-or-treating, have some fun tonight. And until next time, we will see you guys on the beach.